Today's message is behavioral patterns of boys who grow up without a father. Behavioral patterns of boys who grow up without a father. Part 2. Well, this is a very, very serious topic, as you know. And fathers, everything owed on the fathers in the family. Just like God, everything owes on God in the universe, in the world, so also with the family. Who God is to the earth, so the father is to the family. And the father is supposed to be the foundation, the pillar, the covering, and the protection, the security that the family needs. So, but also, I'm in a hurry to say that the fact that somebody is a male does not mean that he's a man. And the fact that somebody has something between his legs does not make him a father. And the fact that you have children running about in your home, or who they have traced to you, or who you yourself say they are your children, doesn't make you a father. A father should be known by his function, by his ability, by his characteristics, not by just the fact that you slept with somebody. Everybody can sleep with anybody. Even animals are sleeping with each other. Even and now, if you are aware, you see that even animals are sleeping with ladies, with women. There are women who are offering their bodies to animals these days because they have less trouble with animals than with men. So, so the fact that you are able to sleep with a girl and get some children running about doesn't qualify you to be a man. So what does it take to be a man? A man is supposed to be identified by his characteristics, by his nature, by the way he operates. Just like God operates in a way that we cannot deny him, because God sends rain to everyone. He sends sun to everybody. He gives us all everything that we need on a daily basis. So, a father is not just somebody who is a male, but somebody who could function, who is responsible enough to be able to act like a father, take care of the wife and take care of the children. Somebody who is able to father the wife, first of all, and then father the children. So, but when a father is not there, or a father might be there physically in the home, but is actually an absentee father. A father, or a male, so to say father in quote, might be there, but is not functioning as a father. So that is as good as not having a father. So what I'm saying is that a father is the foundation upon which a family, or upon whom a family is established. So when the father is not there at all, or is an absentee father, or is there but is not really a man, is the same thing. So there are going to be some patterns in the lives of boys that grew up in such families. There are going to be some patterns in the lives of boys that grew up without a father. Such also are some patterns are going to be in the life of girls that grew up without a father. So there are some behavioral patterns. So I want you to be able to look after yourself, to be able to, because if you are not told this, you might not be aware of it. And the same thing with girls. If you need to look at yourself and be able to look into yourself and see what are the things that might be missing because you did not have a father. Not necessarily because you have some demons chasing after you, or you have some what they call it, generational curses running after you, but just because of some deficiencies and some things that you lacked, just because there was no father there. And the beginning of deliverance and the beginning of the total deliverance actually is by knowing the truth. The Bible says that you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So we need to know the truth, so that the truth will set us free. And so that's why the very beginning of your deliverance is by knowing this truth, that we are going to be talking about today. When you know what the problem is, then you'll be able to tackle it. Instead of you going from one house of deliverance to the other, instead of you going from one deliverance service to the other every Sunday, or from one night prayer to the other in Africa especially, you don't need to necessarily do that. Maybe you just need to find out what the challenges are with you. Maybe they are just patterns you are having. Maybe you are not necessarily having demons. And Jesus had dealt with demons, and he said, if you have any issues with demons, in my name, cast them out, get them out of there. You don't need to build a tent and be worshiping demons or running after them everywhere. Demon is not a big deal in this kingdom anymore. Demons and Satan himself have been overcome. Now, what do we deal with? We deal with ourselves. We deal with our weaknesses. We deal with the situations that we find ourselves in, and in the environment where we were born into families where we were born in, and into situations and conditions that surrounded our birth. Like, one of those situations is the fact that you were probably, if you were born without a father, and there are some things that you need to deal with. And this doesn't really matter where you are born. There are some people who are born in America, they have the same tendencies as people who are born in America, in Europe. And people who are born in London have the same tendencies as people who are born in Africa. So if you are born in a family where there was an absentee father, or there was no father at all, you still have the same challenges. You still have the same things to deal with. And these consequences, these patterns, they are the same everywhere. It doesn't matter what country, what nation, what color, what tribe, or what race. Every one of those who grew up without a father have to deal with one of these issues, either without a father or with an absentee father. So what are those issues? What are those issues that you have to deal with, especially the boys? So there are going to be two main patterns that specialists and psychologists have discovered to be the main patterns of behavior of these people that were born that grew up without a father, or that are growing up without a father. So if a boy is growing up without a father, number one, he either becomes an aggressive teenager or an aggressive man later in life, or he becomes a rather passive man. So they are one of the two. So there are other tendencies for the girls, but I will talk about that. But the main consequences we see in the life of the boys that grew up without a father is that they either become angry and aggressive, or they become rather withdrawn and depressed, and maybe not really depressed, but quiet and withdrawn. They are withdrawn. They might not be depressed, but they are withdrawn and a little bit quiet. They are more melancholy kind of, and there are things that come with that. So let's begin to deal with the child, the baby, who is the baby that grows up and becomes aggressive, and he is driven by anger, and is because he didn't have his father there. And who are those children? Those children are mainly the children that the stronger children, the children that have maybe they are choleric, or they are sanguine. So if they are sanguine or choleric kind of children, they become more aggressive, and they want to express their pain outside. They express their pain outwardly. But the kids that are more melancholic and phlegmatic, those who are phlegmatic and melancholic, they express their disappointment, their anger, and their frustration inwardly more, and they are the ones who have the tendency to become more withdrawn and more depressed. So here we go. When a boy is growing up without a father, he grows up most likely without that confidence. It does not have the confidence that a father brings. A father, like I said, is the foundation of the home. Just what God is to the universe, to the earth, so is a father supposed to be to the home, to the family. So when he's not there, that assurance is lacking in that home. That affirmation is lacking in that home. And because the assurance is not there, there is a void in the heart of the boy. So the boy is missing something. He is missing what he needed to get from the father. And that thing he needed to get from the father was for the father to be there for him and to affirm him that, yeah, guy, you are doing well. Come on here. Come on. A boy needs to be established. And okay, mom can try to do her best, and it's good that mommies are doing their best, and thank God for our mommies. But, there is a way there is a role a father plays. There is a way a father can affirm a child or a son, even a daughter, like no other person can do it. So when that affirmation is not there, there are consequences. And one of those consequences is the fact that that child, that son, is lacking some confidence. Now, the way they react is different, like I said. One group of children, while they lack confidence, they express it outside by trying to make themselves be noticed. They want to, even when people are grown-ups, even when people are adults, and they didn't have that father's affirmation or father's care, sometimes they become adults or businessmen or politicians, and they are always competing with other people. They are always comparing themselves with other men, and they are always trying to outdo all other people. They are trying to outdo all other people, and the reason they are trying to outdo people is because they want to show, they want to get the attention of the father that was never there. They want to do something so exceptionary. They want to do something so different. They want to do something so so excellent. They want to attain some success so that their father could praise them, so that their father could hug them, so that their father could draw them close and pat them in the back. And now, it's a good thing that the good part of it is that they become competitive in life. But you see, life is not just about winning, you see. But they want to win, and even when they win, they are never satisfied, you see. That is the downfall, or the flip side of that character, that they want to always do something because they want to impress somebody. But you see, in this kingdom, sometimes we need to be humble. Sometimes we need to be broken, rather. We don't need to impress anybody. We don't need to do anything to impress anybody. And because the attempt that guy is actually what he's doing is actually to attract attention to himself. And all his efforts, all the things he's doing is just an attempt to get people to look at him, to pay attention to him. So those kind of people, you see that they are loud in everything they do, and they try to they are kind of saying, hey, look at me, I'm here. Hey, am I accepted? Hey, am I okay? Hey, can you see what I've done? Can you see? They are looking for somebody's applause. They are looking for somebody's affirmation. But that is the best kind of scenario. That is the best scenario. But in most cases, those things get much worse. In most cases, what happens is this: when a boy, I'm talking about the patterns now, the patterns of behavior of a boy that is growing up or that grew up without a father. In most cases, they are still looking for that attention, and they are still trying to get that applause and that acceptance of a father. But the way they do it normally is always normally wrong. These kind of kids, they want to do something exceptional. They want to do something exemplary. They want to do something out of the ordinary. And in most cases, they fall into the wrong hands. They fall into the wrong company. They fall into the wrong team, into the wrong gang, or into the wrong club, or into the wrong societies, into the wrong influence, under the wrong influence. And the reason why they fall under the wrong influence is because they want that affirmation from somebody else. So they see somebody that they see as an authority figure. And in most cases, kids, where would they see authority figure? Authority figure don't walk in the street, and the kids are walking in the street. So it is in the street that the kids see authority figure normally, or maybe they see in the movies, but the ones they see in the movies, they never see them in real life. So most of those kids get under the influence of wrong influence. They come under wrong influence normally. They come under the influence of thugs. They come under the influence of street hooligans. They come under the influence of naughty classmates. They come off under the influence of their classmates, of their schoolmates, of their most naughty, most daring classmates or schoolmates. They come under the influence of bandits and mafia gangs. And especially when they get to university, those kind of kids, they just want to escape home. And because they didn't see that acceptance at home, they didn't see that affirmation at home. So they are looking for that affirmation and approval everywhere. And so when they go to university, they want to be the most lousy guys. They want to show that they can smoke. So that one of the reasons why a lot of boys like that begin to smoke and smoke at the young age or teen age is because they want to show off and say, look at me. They want to get that affirmation. Or in other cases, they might be drinking and go to party. Why? Because they want to be applauded with their guys, that they want to be accepted into the club, you see, or into the society, or into the gang, or into the team. The reason is because that acceptance, they never got it. They never got it when they were growing up. That acceptance is what they lacked all their lives. That acceptance was supposed to have been given to them by their dad. Even though they might have a so-called father, like I said. And it doesn't matter if the father is successful or is not successful, if he's big or is not big, if he was not there in the life of that son. If he was not there in the life of that son is always lacking something. That son is always going to be looking for that attention. That son is always going to be looking for places where he could get the attention, where he could get, and many of those guys, you know what? They end up joining cults. They end up joining cults. Now, in our country, people, government officials and everybody, they wonder, why is it that young men, university students, promising guys, they go and join some fraternity, and they go and join some cult or occultic groups, because in those occultic groups, they receive them. People there is membership in some of those fraternity clubs and groups. They receive them as members, and they kind of ordain them. They kind of accept them. They kind of, ordain them, or kind of they accept them. They initiate them. And those process of acceptance, initiation, or ordination, to them, that is real acceptance. And another thing is, when they have been accepted into those clubs, either gangs where people smoke, or where people drink, or where, all people are doing all kind of things, they join and they begin to do, those things even with more zeal. They begin to do those things with more boldness and more viciousness. Why? Because they want to show themselves. They want to show themselves as the best. They want to show themselves as the toughest. They want to show themselves as the real cool guy. They want to really show that they are the cool ones. They are the ones who are really, who are the vogue ones. And so that is the kind of attitude we see in the life of a boy, that when he was a child or when he was a boy, he did not have the affirmation of the father. He did not have the acceptance of the father. When a boy grows up without a father, he has the tendency of showing or displaying this pattern of behavior. Now, the behavioral pattern, like I said, is that if the boy is lucky, and like I said, there are two groups of behavioral patterns. The first one that we are examining right now, we are talking about the aggressive type, all right? So I'm looking right now at the aggressive child, the one that is aggressive in his response, the one that is more proactive. I'm looking at the ones that are more choleric and the one that are more phlegmatic. Choleric and sanguine. And the ones that are more proactive out, who are going out there, the ones that express their frustration more outwardly, those kind of boys are the ones that end up joining the bad groups. Those kind of boys are the ones that join the right clubs, or they come under the wrong influence. You wonder, why is it that people who are from normal families, sometimes they end up in jail or in prison or in bad clubs or in bad companies or under bad influence? Is because those people want to show themselves out somewhere. They want to display some prowess, some boldness, some character, they want to just do something to kind of show that they deserve to be noticed. So they want to be noticed. They want people to pay attention to them. They want people to give them that acceptance that they did not have at home. And they want definitely that affirmation that the father and the mother did not give to them. And because they want that affirmation, they are ready to do anything. So that's why people begin to smoke. That's why children begin to drink, because they are in their with their friends. They like the commandare, what do I call it? The kind of friendship, kind of comrade atmosphere that they have. So they want to do everything so that they will not be pushed out of. So in those kind of children, it's easy to bring them to compromise, and they compromise because the reason they compromise is because they don't want people to push them out of the club, of the society where they find themselves in, because they want to be accepted by that society. They want to be accepted by that club. They want to be accepted by these colleagues of theirs, or their classmates or schoolmates, and because they want to be accepted, and they begin to go into all kind of compromise. They begin to go into all kind of compromise. They go into all kind of compromise. So, and that compromise definitely is even in the wrong things, like smoking, drinking, womanizing, and because they want to show off. And why do you show off? Because you want people to applaud you, or because you want people to accept you, or because you want people to sanction you. To agree with what you are doing, to sanction what you are doing. You want people to accept you. You want people to accept you. So it's a pity that those are the kind of things that happen. Now, what are the other things that we should look out for in a boy that grew up without a child, without a father? And one of the other thing is that kind of boy will always have a deep feeling of low self-esteem, a lower self-esteem. It might not show it, but especially when we are talking about the aggressive pattern of behavior right now, the children who are more aggressive in their pattern of behavior, they will not show you. They will not show you that they are a little bit intimidated inside. They will not show you that. They will not show for that intimidation. They will be hiding it, especially when they're already grown up. But maybe when they were small, when they were younger, they might be hiding it. They might not. They might be showing it that they are a little bit intimidated and they have low self-esteem. But when they are bigger and they don't want to show timidity, and it is because they don't want to show that timidity, they don't want to show that low self-esteem. That's what makes them to want to, demonstrate their boldness and display their courage and their braveness, and to show that they are tough and they are tough guys. They are okay, so that people could say, oh yes, you are tough, you are okay. It is actually a part of low self-esteem. It is people who have this low self-esteem that are trying to, do things and compromise their ways and do the wrong things so that they will be able to be accepted around their folks or their colleagues or in the society. And like I said, even when people grow up, they grow up sometimes, they are still looking for that attention. They grow up that sometimes and they are still looking for that applause. They grow up and they are still looking for that affirmation. Most people you see in in business world or in politics, especially in politics, most of them want affirmation. That is mostly is because they didn't get it with their parents. It's because their father was not there. So they are ready to do anything. They work hard. Some of them work hard, but they work hard to be applauded. Some of them work hard and they become successful. But no matter the amount of success they gain, they are never truly satisfied because they did not feel that they are looking for that affirmation that their father was supposed to give them, and there is no way they could get that from just outside people or just some activities. It could come, but it comes for a short while. That kind of success comes only for a short while for them. So they begin to push and they continue to push and they want to get more success and everything. And at the end of the day, they get disillusioned. And some of them get heartbroken. And some of them, when they see that voidness and that emptiness is not being filled, they begin to drink again or they begin to smoke again. And, so politicians, like for example, I know some people will not like me to say this, and I'm sure, I hope this will not get me into trouble with America. But when I look at, even though as I accept the presidency of Donald Trump, and I think God probably brought him to America to be the president, and I like him. But when I see his behavior, let me tell you what, Donald Trump, for me, is a typical example of a grown-up man that never had his father there for him. Yes, I know that he had a father. I know that he had a successful father, but I can bet you that his father was never there for him personally to grow him up, to show him a fatherly example. But most people don't know this, and most people don't notice that. And most people, they just think that that's just his personality and that's just the way he is. But the way that man behaves, he demonstrated to the whole world, and is a typical example of how a choleric kind of man or an energetic man who grew up without a father's attention, how he behaves. He needs that attention. He needs to win. If you listen to Donald Trump, he's always saying, I need to win. I must win. So winning is more important to him sometimes than even the trophy. He just needs to win. And all those things that you see about women, so he acts like a spoiled child. Well, you could say that maybe spoiled, maybe I would not say necessarily spoiled, but lacking a father's attention. He's still trying to impress a father that is not there now. And that is the problem with those kind of kids. When they grow up, they are now trying to, get the same affirmation from the father, and the father is long dead. So now somebody is asking me, Pastor, what if the father doesn't know the way? Now we are talking. That is why I'm saying this thing I'm saying, because there is a series I just finished doing, and that series is What is a Man? Or the man, who is a man and what is a man series. So that is how to become everything that a father needs to become. But I will also talk more after this series also about, the tendencies or the patterns of boys and girls. After I finish that, then I will go back again to how to become a real father. Okay, so if you don't mind, let me just go stage by stage. I will finish with the boys first, and then I will get to the father's level, if you don't mind, okay? At least as a man, you cannot become a father if you have not become a man. So let's start with that one first. I've dealt with that, but now I want to deal with where it starts from. I want to deal with the foundation. So what I'm dealing with right now, and that's why I'm not going to jump the queue. I'm going to deal with the foundation. I'm going to really explain to you guys how this whole thing starts and where these things is coming from. If you don't know the source, if you don't know the foundation, it will be tough for you to be able to just come with the answer. So I will come with the answer, but let's deal thoroughly with where this whole thing is starting from. Like I said, I will go to the ladies also. There's also tendencies and patterns of behavior for ladies who grew up without the father. We'll get there that also. But right now I'm dealing with the boy, and I'm dealing just with one aspect of the boys who grew up without the father, but the boys who are proactive boys, the boys who are aggressive boys, the boys who are choleric kind of boys, who are the boys who are active and who are aggressive. So this model of behavior, or this pattern of behavior, we call the aggressor, the aggressor child, the aggressive attitude, the aggressive behavior. So anyway, that is why I knew that Donald Trump was going to win, because people like that, they don't like to lose, because for him it's like his whole life depends on it. Because if he loses, it's like he's seeing another rejection. One time he said, if he told his supporters that if we lose, that he will never come out again, or he will never run again, he will never do something. Like he was threatening his own supporters that they must win, that they must help him to win, because that is the kind of that is so there is the good side to it, but there's also a lot of bad side to it. It's better to be ambitious. It's good to be ambitious, but it's good to be in healthy ambition. It's good to be healthily ambitious. It's good to be ambitious healthily. It's good to be aggressive in a healthy way and ambitious in a healthy way when you don't have the load, the luggage. When you are not carrying the luggage, the heavy load of because those kind of people, they hurt a lot of people in the process. They inflict a lot of pain, a lot of destruction on their way. They get to where they're going, they get their results, but they destroy a lot. They destroy a lot of people in the way. They win, but they win at a very high price for a lot of people, because they don't care for any other thing than to win. So anyway, and that is all coming from that desire to receive affirmation. That is all coming from that desire to be affirmed, to be held, and to be praised, and to be said, yes, nobody is better than you. You are the one. You are number one. So that is one of the challenges that boys who have become men now, who are now men, that's the kind of challenges they face. They face that kind of challenge, those kind of challenges that they want to do things out of the ordinary. They want to be successful. They want to be great. They want to do something so that they will become great. Now, there is nothing bad about becoming great, and there is nothing bad about becoming ambitious. There is nothing bad about becoming successful. But, greatness is supposed to lift other people up. When you are great, the reason for greatness is to make other people great. The reason for greatness is for you to become a ladder through which other people also attain greatness. But if the reason for your own greatness is just for you to be affirmed, if the reason for your own greatness is just for you to be confirmed, if the reason for your own greatness is just for you to be applauded, that might not be the way. That might not be the best thing to do. The same thing with success. If you just want to be successful just for you, it means it's just still about you. But really, the real purpose of success is for you to fulfill the purpose and the will of God for your life, and to use that success to help other people fulfill their destiny and the will of God for their lives. So now, like I said, so the next behavioral pattern we see, I've mentioned this, and that's why I use the example of Trump, is that unfortunately, a boy that grew up without a father's care and loving protection and without a father's affirmation, he grows up always trying to prove to everybody else that is right. that he is qualified, that he deserves it, that he is good enough, that he is right, that all other people are wrong, that he is better, that he is good, better than all other people. He just wants to prove something to somebody else all the time. These kind of people want to prove something to someone else all the time. They want to prove that they are right. They want to prove that they are more powerful. They want to prove that they are the best. They want to prove to others that they deserve to be applauded. They deserve to be accepted. They deserve to be praised. They deserve to be affirmed, to be confirmed, to be affirmed. So they live off that, and that's where they get their energy from. The same thing with criminals. Unfortunately, people become criminals because of that. I mean, have you ever heard a story when one of the popes, I think it was Pope John Paul II, was almost murdered? There was an assassination attempt on his life. All right, and you know what they said? What the guy said? The guy who wanted to kill him, he said because he wanted to get famous. He wanted to get famous. Why? You could just see right there that guy lacked a father's affirmation. He wanted the world to praise him. He wanted the world to notice him. And I think the person that killed John Lennon as well, John Lennon, the Beatles, the Beatles? The person that killed that guy, I heard it's the same reason. The person killed him because he wanted to become famous. He wanted to become famous, that I'm the guy that killed John Lennon. I'm the guy that killed John Lennon. Because he wanted to get affirmation. He wanted to affirm that, yes. He said, now the whole world is talking about me. Yes, I'm the big guy. Why? Because, so what I'm saying is that this thing is not as easy as we're saying. It's not as sheepish. It's not as pettish, the way we're saying. It's not so small. It's not so insignificant. It is serious. I mean, people, this is just the beginning, because I'm going to give you more patterns of behavior. What happens to these kind of children just because they did not have a child. I mean, they did not have a father. They did not have a father in their childhood. They want to see themselves affirmed. So they fall under the influence of the wrong people. They fall under wrong influence. Other people can easily deceive them. Other people can easily use them. They are easily bullied sometimes. But the ones who are strong, I'm talking about the strong ones now. I'm talking about the strong ones because they are the other ones we are going to talk about. There are different patterns of behavior for different boys. Now I'm talking about the boys who are aggressive and proactive. Now I'm going to be talking about tomorrow and day after. I don't know when I'm going to finish. Depends on how fast I go. I'm going to talk about other boys as well who are quiet, who are well behaved, who study well, who are, but they have other challenges, and I'm going to tell you about their own pattern of behavior as well. And I'm going to tell you how they behave, what happens to them in life, and how we can fix it. So let me continue. I'm going to talk about how to fix it a little bit later, even though I spoke about it a little bit this morning. If an adult still strives for acceptance, what can he do to have a sound self-esteem? He must begin to speak to himself that even if I'm not accepted, will I still do what I'm doing? Number one. And then convince himself that, yes, I am more committed to what I'm doing despite what kind of feelings I have. So even if I don't feel accepted, even if nobody is giving me that acceptance, let me be more committed to what I'm doing. That's number one. Number two, that person must be more focused to his goals and vision than he is more focused on people's acceptance. It might not be bad to want people's acceptance, but it must not become more important to you than the goal that you are achieving. That's number one. Number two, number three maybe. Number four, the desire to be accepted must not come over the desire to help other people. What I'm saying is that, when people have that problem, they are ready to use other people at their own expense. They are ready to they just want to get that accolade, and they could even do it at the cost of other people. But you must make sure that whatever you are doing and whatever goal you are pursuing, you are not pursuing for your own good. Make sure that the desires of God and the priority of God comes first before your own priority. Make sure that you always put the desire to please God, to seek the purpose and the intentions of God rather than your own intention. That you are pushing God's purpose, God's goals ahead of your own goals. So make sure that you also put ahead of your own goal the interest of others. So if you be able to put the interest of God above your interest and put the interest of others above your interest, you'll be able to save yourself from that trap of just getting accolades and acceptance from people. Pastor Adelaja, I know of someone that his father never loved him. He was always at loggerhead with his dad, even though they were living together. Later, the dad disowned him, and that really affected him. He smoked everything smokable and stopped, but till now still drinks like fish, and he believes he is always right in every conversation, and we always keep quiet when with him. If you don't want too much argument, we let him have his way. Yeah, that is another thing. Someone like that never had a father, one of the ways to also resolve that question is to go find a father figure. Even if he's 50 years old, go find a father figure that you could serve. Find a father that you commit to listen to no matter what. Somebody that you will respect so much, and you submit yourself to that person, and you let the person know that, you know what, I submit myself to you. I want you to be my father. So it's one thing to submit yourself to God, but for someone like that who grew up without a father, it will be extremely helpful for him if he will submit himself to a human being also, someone on the earth, not just someone in heaven that you don't see. So that person must be someone that you respect so much that will be able to tell you stop and you stop. Someone that you respect so much that will be able to, his word will be authority to you. That will really help that kind of person along a great deal. So, next thing that you want to know about kids that grew up, or boys that grew up without a father. Now, I'm talking about the aggressive, the proactive, the stronger children right now, okay? You understand? So they grow up, and the insufficiency of attention, the insufficiency of affirmation from the father, they try to compensate. They try to compensate it through aggressive actions, aggressive behavior, aggressive behaviors, extra active behaviors, and extra active actions, and proactive but over proactive actions. They always try to prove to somebody. They are always trying to prove something to somebody else, and that's why they need somebody that they could be submitted to. This kind of kids, another problem with them is that they are always short-tempered. Is that what we say? Short-tempered, hot-tempered. Yeah, they are always hot-tempered. They are always hot-tempered. They are always angry. They always get angry quickly. They have short temper, and they got hot-tempered quickly. And so almost most of their arguments finish in anger or some kind of acceptance, some kind of lack of acceptance. They don't accept defeat. They don't, even when they are arguing, they don't want to accept defeat in argument. They don't want to accept that they are wrong. They don't want to concede defeat. So, and the reason for that is because that boy, never had enough peace when he was growing up. The father never brought enough stability to his life. He didn't, maybe there was financial stability, but he didn't have emotional stability. So anger is a sign of lack of emotional stability from the side of that father. When the father did not bring in emotional stability, he didn't act as the pillar to that boy begins to have hot temper, short-tempered, is always angry, and is always agitated inside of him, and is always running somewhere, proving something. He's not at peace inside. There is no stability inside of him because he never got that stability when he was growing up. So that kind of boy lacks confidence. He can have confidence to go and do some heroic something outside. He has confidence outside, maybe, especially when he's aggressive, they fast and they quick and they active ones. They might have confidence outside, boldness outside, and they might show as if they have confidence, but inside they are actually not having confidence. They actually lack confidence inside, and it's because they lack confidence. That's why they want affirmation. It's because they lack confidence and in who they are, their affirmation. That's why they are looking for somebody, and they are looking to do something to impress somebody and to bring in that affirmation to them. So it's because they lack that confidence, that boldness inside. Not boldness, the confidence that they are okay, that they are accepted, that no matter who I am, what I do, I am okay, I'm accepted, I'm at peace with myself. So then that lack of peace makes them to be angry, and sometimes those kind of children could be angry at their fathers as well, not just angry at people who offend them. Now sometimes they are angry at the situation around them. They are angry at their condition. They are angry at their situation, at the fact that their father died, or they might be angry at the fact that their parents divorced. They might be angry or frustrated at the fact that their father was not there for them. They might be angry that they never provided what they needed to provide for him. So anger is another, is that anger, unforgiveness is another issue that those kind of kids face and they deal with. So sometimes they are angry at the whole world. Sometimes they are angry at their country. If you go to my country, Nigeria, you see a lot of men that are angry. They are angry at the president, they are angry at the country, they are angry at everything. They are angry at the economy, angry at the football club, angry at everything. And it's because, that's some of the reasons why. Because they never have that, they never had that problem resolved in their lives. That problem is not resolved in their lives. But they try to look for, at least these active ones, they try to look for that recognition. They try to look for that affirmation one way or the other. They try to look for it one way or the other. So, okay, I think, what time is it? Okay, I think, I still have a few minutes. Let me try to give you some more points here. So, one thing that you want to know about these children is that they have very strong, very clearly evident, very strong characteristics, very strong features. They have, characteristics that are very strong. They have clearly. A lot of them have a lot of leadership characteristics. So they might have. So what I'm saying is that they have sharply positive qualities and sharply negative qualities. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So they might have a lot of good qualities in the fact that they are active. They might have good qualities in the fact that they are fast. They might have good qualities in the fact that they are bold. They might have good qualities in the sense that they are initiative. They might have good qualities like leadership qualities, but then despite the strong leadership qualities that they have, they also have alongside with that sharply negative characteristics, like even though he has all those qualities that I spoke about, but they might be angry, they might be short-tempered or high-tempered, they might be unforgiving, they might be bullish to other people, they might have the tendency to want to do anything for whatever they want. They go through any length, they do anything to get their goals met. They might be aggressive to the extent of being quarrelsome or be a conflict person, somebody that is ready to fight or that is easily going to conflict and disagreement with other people. They might, be friendly on one hand, but on the other hand, they might also, be angry, and be unsatisfactory, and be, and be controlling, and things like that. So they have, so we don't say those children are bad, but you understand what I'm saying? That they are not just bad; they just don't have negative things, negative tendencies, but they have a lot of positive qualities as well. But those qualities, those positive qualities, they are normally mixed up with other, clearly negative qualities as well. So these kind of children, sometimes they don't want to stay at home. They despise their homes. They would rather go and stay with a friend, or they would rather go and stay in those kind of children are the people who like the discotheque. They like the nightclubs. They like to just go and pass away time somewhere else, but not in the house. And then they come under the influence of people in the street. They come under the influence of bad groups. They come under the influence of bad influence, of cults, of gangs, of hooligans, of naughty people. And they go to discotheque and all those kind of places. They go in the wrong places. They don't want to stay home. They don't want to stay home because they are looking for self-realization. They are looking for themselves. They are looking for acceptance. They are looking for, and that's why they take advantage of them. Those other people take advantage of them, and they compromise themselves as well. They get them to compromise themselves when they are out. So all these things I'm saying, they don't just relate to the boys. They don't just relate to the boys. I'm sure some girls are already recognizing themselves as well. I'm sure some girls are already recognizing themselves. So, but that's the problem of growing up without a father. And unfortunately, many of them become criminals. Many of them become criminals. They begin to smoke, drink, have sex, and many of them impregnate each other when they are young. The girls get pregnant. All kind of things happen like that, just because the father's attention was not there. Even though the father might be physically there, but it was not probably there to give that practical lesson and those practical affirmation and confirmation like the kids needed. God bless you guys and have a wonderful evening.